All right, so are we good or bad? That's what we're looking at today. No sugarcoating here. Just straight talk about human nature.
Yeah, it's a question that just gets right to who we are, right? Like, one way to think about this is to just imagine, like, a world without society, like a state of nature. You know what I mean? No
Yeah.
laws, no rules, just humans interacting.
Okay, so I'm imagining like, after the apocalypse, total chaos. Is that what philosophers thought about?
Well, some of them, Thomas Hobbes, oh, he had a pretty dark view. He thought that life without rules would be solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short. He really believed that without someone in charge, someone strong, we'd just be fighting all the time.
Like the Hunger Games.
Exactly. And Hobbes thought that it's this fear of chaos that makes us want to live in societies. You know, we give up some freedom for safety.
That's pretty cynical though, isn't it? Not everyone thought that way, right?
Right. John Locke was more optimistic. He thought that even without rules, we can understand right and wrong. Like, we all have this sense of fairness and justice.
So he's saying we're not all just selfish.
Yeah. Locke thought that governments should protect our rights, you know, not be a dictator like Hobbes wanted.
So Hobbes the pessimist, Locke the optimist. What did other thinkers say?
Oh, all sorts of things. Rousseau thought we're good, but society makes us bad.
So city life is to blame. But really, where does this leave us? Good, bad, or somewhere in between?
That's the tough one, isn't it? Probably a mix. I mean, think about it. We see good things every day, but also, you know, bad things.
Like we can be both good and bad.
Yeah, that's what makes us complicated, right?
Okay, I'm ready for more. Who else was thinking about all of this?
Well, you've got Mencius, who was like, humans are good, and then Zunzi, who said, nope, humans are selfish.
So this good versus evil question has been around for a long time.
Oh yeah, everywhere. And we may never know for sure, but looking at these ideas, it helps us understand ourselves and the world.
I'm seeing that it's more than just good or bad.
Right.
But if we're not all just selfish, what else makes us do things?
That's where it gets really interesting. I mean, we talked about fear, right? But there's also love, compassion, learning, being creative.
That sounds a lot better than nasty, brutish, and short.
I know, right?
So how do those good things fit in?
Well, look at love. It makes us do a lot. We sacrifice, we're kind, we build communities.
Yeah, love's a big one. But what about the bad stuff, like jealousy, anger, wanting power? Is that just part of us?
I think those darker parts, yeah, they're part of being human. But instead of just saying bad, maybe think of them as like strong feelings we got to learn to handle, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so like not bottling up anger, but like finding a good way to let it out. Or jealousy, not letting it eat you up, but maybe using it to push yourself to do better.
Yeah, like that. Like even those negative feelings, like it can be useful, right? Fear keeps you safe. Anger can make you stand up for what's right. And sadness, well, sometimes it helps you connect with others who get it, you know?
That's a good point. It's like we all have this set of tools, these emotions.
Yeah.
And we got to figure out how to use them right. But what about when those darker feelings win? When we mess up, hurt someone, make a choice we regret?
That happens. We're not perfect, right? We all trip up. But it's about learning from it, owning up to it, trying to do better next time.
It's like they say, fall down 7 times, stand up 8. But how do you actually do that? You know, get better at the good stuff and keep the bad stuff under control.
Well, it's a journey, right? No easy answers. But I think knowing yourself is huge. Like, what are your strong points, weak points? What sets you off? What patterns do you see in how you act? When you know that stuff, you can start to make better choices.
So it's like checking out your toolbox, seeing what needs fixing, what needs sharpening.
Exactly. Then you can figure out how to handle those tough feelings. Like, maybe try mindfulness, therapy, or just being around people who want you to be your best.
Sounds like work. But can you really change your nature? Are we just wired a certain way, or can we actually become more caring, more understanding, more?
Yeah.
Well, good.
That's a question people have been asking forever. Some think we're born a certain way. Others think it's all about what happens to us, you know, our experiences.
Nature versus nurture. Classic debate. But it's probably both, right?
Most likely. We're born with certain tendencies, but how they turn out depends on family, culture, all that stuff.
It's like you get a set of ingredients, but what you cook up depends on how you mix them. What spices you add, right?
Perfect analogy. It shows that we have power over how things turn out. We might not control everything, but we can make a difference.
I see how this all ties together now. We have those basic drives: survival, connection, purpose. But then outside things shape how those drives play out. It's this mix of what we're born with and what happens to us. But if outside stuff is so important, How much control do we actually have? Are we just a product of our environment? Or can we be better than that?
And now we get to free will. Do we really choose our thoughts, our actions, our future? Or are we just going through the motions?
Whoa, okay, getting deep. Is there even an answer to that?
Lots of opinions, no real proof either way. Some say our choices are already made, because of our biology or experiences. Others say we can choose our own path no matter what.
So the big question, are we in charge or just along for the ride?
Yep. And I think this is really about what being human means. If we can truly choose, then that comes with a lot of responsibility. We're in charge of the good and the bad.
Kind of scary, huh? To think we're not just watching our lives happen, but actually shaping them with every choice.
Yeah, it is. But it's also really powerful. If we have that power to choose, we can change, grow, become who we want to be.
I see the connection back to human nature. It's not just good or bad, but about what we choose, what we do, and how we take responsibility for our own lives and the world around us.
Exactly. That's what makes all of this so interesting. We're not just looking at theories, but trying to figure out who we are and how to live a life that means something.
It's like we're all on this adventure trying to figure out our place and what impact we want to have.
Exactly. And along the way, we face choices that show our values, what matters to us, and the kind of person we want to be.
It's like those choose your own adventure books, but with bigger consequences.
Yeah.
So if we're all looking for purpose, how do we even start in such a complicated world?
That's a great question. One we'll get to in our next part. We'll look at how values and ethics shape our ideas about human nature and how we search for meaning.
All right, back again. So how do we make sense of this whole human nature thing? And how do we find meaning in our lives? It's like more questions than answers so far.
Yeah, that's what's so great about it, right? The more we look, the more we realize there's so much we don't know.
Yeah.
But that's where things get interesting.
So where do we even begin? Human nature's a mess, good and bad. Stuff inside us, stuff influencing us from outside. How do we put it all together?
Well, we can think about our values, right? Like, what do we believe is right and wrong?
Yeah.
What matters most to us?
Values. You
Yeah.
need, like honesty, being a good person, caring about others, sense of humor, maybe.
Exactly. It's that core stuff that shapes how we see things, how we make choices. It determines what kind of impact we have.
So values are like our compass, guiding us through life's maze. But where do they even come from? Are we born with them? Or do our families, our communities teach us?
Probably both, right? We might have some natural inclinations, but how they turn out depends on how we're raised, our culture, all that.
Another one of those nature-nurture dances. But even if outside stuff influences our values, we still get to choose which ones we really believe in, don't we?
Oh, absolutely. We can look at the values we were taught, question them, even disagree with them. We decide what truly fits with who we are.
So it's like we're creating our own code of ethics, right? Choosing the principles we want to live by. Pretty cool.
Exactly. And it's not set in stone. As we grow and experience new things, those values can change and become more refined. The important thing is to be true to ourselves and act according to what we believe.
Okay, I get the values thing now, but how does that connect to finding meaning in life? Is there some secret formula for a happy life?
No secret formula, I don't think. But I do believe we create meaning. We don't just stumble upon it. It's about making our actions match our values, doing things we're passionate about, and making a positive difference in a way that feels right for us.
So not chasing some idea of success, but finding what truly speaks to us and going for it with everything we've got.
That's it. It's about living a life that feels right and fulfilling, no matter what other people say or expect.
That's inspiring, but kind of scary too. What if I don't know what my passions are or what kind of impact I want to make?
That's where self-discovery comes in. You gotta explore, try different things, be open to new possibilities.
You're like trying on different hats until you find the one that fits.
Exactly. You might find hidden talents, new passions, a deeper understanding of yourself.
Okay, feeling a bit better about this whole meaning of life thing. But what about those times when we feel lost, unsure, or even disappointed? Is that normal?
Oh, those times are totally normal. And I think they're actually important for growth. Those challenges teach us to be strong, to understand others, and to learn more about ourselves and the world.
So getting lost can help us find our way.
Exactly. Those tough moments make us face our fears, rethink what we believe, and figure out what really matters.
Wow, I like that way of looking at it. Even the bad times have a purpose.
They do. And remember, you don't have to go through those times alone. Reach out for support, talk to people who get it, build a community that helps you grow and be resilient.
That's so important. We need each other to learn and grow and find meaning.
That's right. And that brings us back to human nature. Even with all our flaws and contradictions, we can connect, empathize, and create something amazing together.
I'm feeling optimistic about humanity again. So, as we wrap things up, what's the one thing you want our listeners to remember?
Embrace the complexity, both in yourself and in others. We're not simple, easy to understand beings. We're messy and full of contradictions. But that's where our potential for growth, connection, and meaning comes from.
Beautifully said. All right, deep divers. Go out there and be your messy, amazing selves. Keep learning, keep questioning, keep making the world a better place. And thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.